men.
Do we need men?
Yes. Just like we need women. We need both. I don't think there's a world where it can just, you don't think, okay.
What do you think?
Andrew's meditating on that one. Huh? Oh, she wants to tangle on that one.
I'm not convinced on that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But for the same reasons that you wouldn't be, right? So I just say, like,
so.
sure, men are total monsters, right?
I didn't say that.
And since they could, well, no, this is me, right?
Okay.
It's like, okay, if men really are have the capacity to just be kind of like these oppressive monsters, then why not just handmaid tale the whole thing? You just put all the women in the cages, right? And just like livestock them if you wanted to. Women could never do that in opposition. And so because of that, I'm like, well, it seems like men are pretty benevolent because they really could and have in other countries done that, like in the Middle East, places like this. They completely strip the rights of women kind of overnight. And women can't really do much about it, but they can't do it in reverse, right? They can't make men do this in reverse. So when the question becomes, are women necessary? It's like, yeah, I can agree that women are necessary to have children, but are they necessary to run a society? Clearly not. Like, clearly not. Like, I can point to you many societies right now where they're totally unnecessary in the running of the society. Like, that's just factually true. Now, what you're doing is you're taking this in your head. I can tell you this right now. Here's what you're doing. You're going,
exactly what I'm
he
thinking.
actually believes that you should put women in cages and do horrible things. Even though I literally never said a
didn't say
word
that.
like
I
that.
didn't think that. You're
I
putting
just
words
want
in my
to
mouth
let
right
you
now.
know
I
right
didn't
now
think
that
that.
that's not my ought claim. I'm just saying what is
Well,
true.
good, but I wasn't
So we
thinking
shouldn't.
that.
Yeah. So what is true is that no, I don't think society needs women to function. I don't think it needs them in any support role, really. I don't think it needs them in any leadership role whatsoever. I think that if women were essentially relegated to second-class citizens, as an is statement, not an ought, as an is statement, if women were relegated to second-class citizens, I think society would be fine.
That's really upsetting to hear. So you really just think that women exist to give birth?
See,
and
that's the
it?
ought. See the
But
ought
that's what
saying,
I'm
I see the
hearing.
ought. You see the ought there that you did there?
So that's
You
what I'm
think
hearing. So
women
you
only
don't-
exist to do that's an ought claim. I'm
Well,
not
that's what
saying
you're-
ought.
So what do you?
I
so
don't
what are they
think
good
women
for other
only
than
exist
birth?
to do
What
that.
are they
I'm
good for
telling
other
you
than-
descriptively. I want you to answer to the descriptor
Well, can
with
you
a counter
answer-
descriptor. I think it is true, not ought to be, but is true, that if women were relegated to second-class citizens,
Touch My Blade donated $200. If all men passed instantly, or if all women passed.
this guy's like
Thanos
always 5
snap.
seconds behind me
Who
on
would
this.
last longer?
Okay.
Think infrastructure, power, water, food, farming, etc.
I just want the counter descriptor. So I'm not saying this should be true. I'm not saying that you should do any of this, because you shouldn't. I'm just giving the descriptor of what is correct and accurate. So from my view, it is correct, descriptively true, that if all women were made into second-class citizens tomorrow, they had no real rights, they were not allowed in government positions of any kind, nor leadership positions, that society would be just fine. There would not be any, like, I can't really even envision, I just really can't even really envision any problems, honestly. So I'm waiting for a counter descriptor to say, nope, I do think that there would be lots and lots and lots of problems, and here's what they would be. But I don't want to hear what we should do, because I already agree with you, we shouldn't do this.
Well, not enough women have even been in government to prove that they have the capabilities to help run it.
Yeah, but that doesn't counter the descriptor of what of this being true. Like, I'm just going to grant that. Like, maybe women would be the bestest rulers ever. Let's say they occupied 90% of government, they'd be way better than men. My descriptor, though, is just that if all women were relegated to second-class citizenry, I don't see why society wouldn't function fine.
I mean, I just disagree with you, just on the grounds of you can't have one, strata, or like one type of person be in power.
Well, it wouldn't be one type of person. It would be
men?
thousands of different types of people.
Men. It would be men.
Yeah, but wait,
And then
there's
the
only two types of humans, right? Men and women.
Right.
Right, so there's male
So
and
one
female.
type of person
But can't
is-
we point to cultures right now where women are completely disenfranchised from all power roles and the society functions fine?
Not for them. They're miserable.
Well, no, it's not good
they
for
can't do the things they want to do.
I agree, it's not good for the women. The women don't like it. But that not contending again with the descriptor. The descriptor is, would society be fine? Like you could have a totally oppressed underclass.
The happiness of their citizens and the abilities for them to act out according to their own needs and wants. And so if women are oppressed and they can't do that, then it's not a stable and good society for everybody.
What if they have a massive brainwashing program which convinces all of the women that they're actually happy? As many of these nations do. And so the women report, we're really happy. No, I'm not kidding. Like this is true right this second. I can point to many countries where this is the case.
Gulf states.
Yep. Tons of them.
You look at countries like Qatar, Dubai. They don't have really any women in positions of power at all.
Tomorrow, here's how it's going to be.
Second-class citizens, and
here's Twitter. Here's Twitter tomorrow, right? Andrew Wilson says we should do thing I literally said we should never do. Just giving a descriptor, but I can already tell. He wants women in cages. I can hear it now.
Low Paladin says, thank you, Andrew. Vote Andrew 2024 Taliban party. But seriously, you've already absorbed anti-baby propaganda, Idiocracy, Handmaid's Tale, even cartoons you watched as a baby. Ferngully, Too Many Human. That was a banger of a movie.
By the way, that other guy, real sharp. What's his name? Slade.
Blade,
yeah.
Touch My Blade.
He seems
Touch
like
My Blade.
He seems like he's on it.
He's on point. He's been firing off. Well, I think also maybe Andrew, you can speak to like the actual, I guess, practical application here when it comes to men being involved in critical infrastructure. And is that kind of the angle that you're coming at this with? Like,
no, I'm literally coming at it from all angles. If women were removed from all societal function, like let's say that this is a Middle Eastern nation where you can't even walk down the street without like having a male escort. Those nations, I'm not kidding, they exist right now. I know that for some reason feminists think that this is like, you're talking about a hypothetical handmaid's tale. These civilizations exist right now and they have hundreds of millions of people in them. Hundreds of millions. If you remove women from all critical roles in society, these nations keep going fine. Like, in many cases, they thrive. Like, that is descriptively true. So I don't even know why people argue it. It's like,
Dubai like
I
that?
agree.
Yeah,
I
it's true.
agree.
Dubai's a little bit more liberal, but like
Yeah.
it's just true, right? And
you
it's
look
like,
at countries like Saudi. It's like that.
It's like
Saudi's
that.
a pretty prosperous country.
it's like that all over the Middle East. It's like that in many regions of Asian nations as well. It's like that in many places where like women are completely removed from all positions of power, authority, autonomy. And just, I mean, yeah, the societies function. Like, now you can say it's not optimal, sure. You can say it's morally reprehensible, agreed. But that's not taking away the fact that they work.
Touch My Blade donated $200. I'm Australian, so we still know what's up, lads.
See?
Great
Another one.
stream.
Did he lose you now with the Australian thing? He lost you,
Fucking
Andrew.
people have been
Another
sitting
one.
here
Touch
trying to
My
convince
Blade.
me forever that
Another
this country
style.
exists.
It's not a real
Can
country.
I make a comment about what you said? Because
Yeah.
it's actually a great point. One of my favorite graphic novels is called Why the Last Man. And
Yeah, I've read it.
yeah, and essentially one day all of the men just,
With Yori?
Drop.
Isn't that his name? Yori or Yorin or something?
yeah, Yorick.
Yorick.
Yeah, and society completely fell apart because women only make up like 2% of engineers
Yeah.
or doctors, and they didn't know what to do. I mean, you have to read it. It's actually a really cool perspective.
Society was completely decimated. This is
Yeah,
one last,
and they went
yeah.
insane because it
Yeah.
helps you realize like how much men actually have a role in society. When I feel like this generation, in the sense, makes it seem like they don't, or try to downplay men, you know, and it's very easy to forget how important they are and how much they do have to contribute and how much expectations that are put on them from the moment they're born.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that you push this point, right, that people actually get very, very upset if you just kind of point out obvious things that contend with their kind of preconceived notions. In this particular case, most of human history, most of human society, and currently, I would say most societies in the world outside of the West, women are relegated to secondary roles. And society has absolutely flourished. I just want, right? Except the West. The West is the only one way below thresholds of birth rates. They're the ones who are way below kind of these thriving rates. And so it's like, descriptively, I can clearly see that women were relegated historically to a lesser role, and in most nations, right this second, they're relegated to a lesser role. And these societies function fine. So this like idea that women must be in all these places, it's just absurd to me. I don't even understand why anybody would argue with that. They could say, again, you can make the moral arguments against it. I would agree, right? I don't want them in a secondary role. I'm just saying that descriptively, I can see with my own eyeballs that these societies are not going like out of existence because women are not in government.
I would like to bring it back to dating for at least the most of the end of the show, but you do seem to be shaking your head here. Is there still a disagreement
I'm
on
done.
this?
I'm done.
You're
Yeah,
done?
I'm done.
Was it the misogyny? Was it the raging Andrew Wilson misogyny that did it? Even though it was like it wasn't hot claims,
It's
excuse
just
me.
always like men are superior, men are superior.
Yeah, like, okay, you
Yeah.
proved you're better. Like, I don't know. Like, what are you even trying?
not
Why?
a-
Why are you
it's-
arguing for that?
I never argued for
Give
it.
me validation.
I don't think he was saying.
By the
men are
way, I
better
just want to
'cause-
let you know. Hang on, I just want to let you know. I never argued for it. Hang on. I would like you to acknowledge that not one time did I actually argue for that. No. Nope,
Wait.
can't do it. If you give a descriptor, you believe it. Right?
Do you think society would be better without men?
I don't think society would be better without men or women. Like, there need
Well-
to be both. And
well,
also,
for
to answer your
reproduction.
point,
For
for a
reproduction.
society, women
No,
need
for
to be
reproduction.
nurturers, educators, caregivers. And that's not to say that they can't also do other things. And yes, maybe this book you read proved that, like, there are 3% or 2% of engineers or doctors or whatever. But if in a world, hypothetically, if men did not exist, a world could still flourish with just women. I'm not, like, it can, if just men, a world could flourish. Just women,
Well-
a world could flourish. But with both, there needs to be some kind of level ground where both can flourish at the same time without pushing down another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I almost wonder if this is more so like, and we've gone into these like apocalyptic scenarios where what would happen if all men disappeared instantly or all women disappeared instantly? And I think perhaps Andrew, a little bit of what he's getting to, although he seems to have expanded on it a bit, is that if all women were to disappear, it would suck. That'd be terrible. It would be the end of the species.